and this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had. Bring them out. Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events. Major show alert. All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.
Here I am, goddammit. Here I am. Welcome to the Romello Marcellus Show. And yeah, it's me. I'm he. You know the rest. Hope everybody had a good day. The day is ending. And yeah. Whole lot of stuff going on, man. Whole lot of stuff, whole lot of people doing crazy things. How many people seeing those kids, man, down in Atlanta, getting ready for the prom, standing there with assault weapons? Hey, man. I guess some people could say, where the parents? I say, goddamn it, they were the ones taking the picture. I'm just saying. Yeah. Whole lot going on. Whole lot. But I'm here. We here. And we're going to move forward. You know, as we ride in, we got to let people join us so we can get into this discussion. Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy one tonight, I think. I got a lot to say, man. I ain't got a lot of time to say it, but I'm going to say what I got to say, and hopefully there'll be a positive takeaway. I always try to drop jewels, even in the midst of my buffoonery. Gotta laugh, man. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. Just like that sometimes. Especially with us. One thing about it, man, we have to get ourselves to the point where we can better our relations amongst ourselves. You know, usually it's like, you know, like a strike. You know, picketers, when they're striking on a job, anytime someone jumps out and says something positive to unify, they get bashed like scabs. Yeah. And then people wonder why they're by themselves, or they will never be, well, excuse me, can't be happy with anyone else. Is you know, now let me do this. Let me handle my business. If you like the show, man, as usual, I always ask you, click on the YouTube, subscribe, follow, like, smash the subscribe button, click the like, pluck the bell, and yeah, share it. Also, follow me on Instagram, double tap me. Let me know you came on by. Not polite to stop by, no. Say hello. I'm on Facebook too. If you're already friends, click the follow, man, and I'll invite you into the wet spot with my with exceptional taste, folks. We here. Train's leaving the station. We're cruising on out. Yeah, weather's finally breaking in most of the country, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see what the actual summer's going to bring. 'Cause it seems like on the East Coast we're just going to blend right on into summer. That's what it seems like, but we'll see. I'm sure you guys can probably see what the topic is, and yeah, I have a plethora of things that are on my mind, and I need you guys' energy to get some understanding on why I feel the way that I do about some of these things. what's really wrong with us? What's really wrong with us in our relations with one another? How we treat one another? How we respond to one another? You know, are we a race of people or a class of folks that the only thing we can do is listen in response and really gain no understanding of the individuals we're talking to or before us? Are we that prone to use a lame colloquialisms like I want to get to know you, and are really not taking the opportunity to do that, which constantly leaves the questions of individuals' integrity? But I want to start right here, though. This is where I want to start. Indulge me. Tichina Arnold. We all know her from Martin. This happened the other day, and I got to touch on it my own way. And she asked a good question. She said, honest question. What can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? Yeah. As usual, as I said, there's always someone who's going to attack someone who's speaking in any way positive as a scab crossing a strike and a picket line. And this goofy said, you worked alongside a man who voluntarily dressed up as a woman and would drag your character on the show. You tell us, sis. Wow. Well, as you can see here, we can tell who she is because her handle is @HoochieDoll. Okay. Says a lot about that one. But I don't want to dwell on this because this is just one of the images that are out there about us as a whole. You know, when we interact with one another, there's rarely a time where we are really building. So I'm going to take it from a male's perspective, right? This is one aspect.
I got 40 girls. I'm like, bro, if you go look at the 40 girls you chose, I bet you they're very weak. And the woman you treat the worst is the one that's trying to help you the most. That's how foolish men are. The woman we break down and hurt the most, I'm guilty of it, bro. And I throw myself under the bus all day. The woman that tried to help me the most is the woman I hurt the most. It's proven fact that we tend to hurt the woman or the person we love the most. And it's sick about us, bro. Reality is you're supposed to be going towards the person that's trying to build you and push you and help you the most. Having sex is nothing. That's only an encounter. But a mental encounter is bigger than a sexual encounter. When somebody's trying to build this, oh man, it's deep, bro.
Yeah, true for some, but there are some that stand on their own too and really understand what it means to be with a woman, or to really have have a discipline and understanding about themselves. Yeah, that's one aspect. But then here, you know, we listen to the unreasonable expectations in dating, you know, and we doing all of that, right? The going back and forth and so on and so forth with the courting and the chasing and all of that. But then we go forward. Here's another man's perspective, a couple of men.
Look, no woman is going to be happy with you chasing her ass all the time. Like all the time. I'm not talking about in the beginning when you guys are coming together. I'm talking about if you live your life chasing a woman and showing up at her doorstep and having flowers and shit and violins and, you know, all that shit, you're killing yourself. The relationship is not going to last. The reality is when you buy your way in and you become a provider and you just become like you represent provision, that's not the same as being sexually stimulating.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like representing provision and just being a guy, yo, I'm gonna buy you a bunch of shit. Yo, that's weak.
I ain't
See,
never
guys that use
again.
money, guys that use
I
money,
never do
guys
that
that
shit
use
again.
money to sustain their relationships and use money to get their way in. That
Yeah,
shit
that was
is
me.
weak.
That
It's
was me.
weakness.
Fuck, take
It's
this
weak
bitch. Let me in
because
her.
you don't believe in you enough.
Yeah.
You trying to use
way.
money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
You gotta be
Fuck
you.
that.
The money is an exclamation mark. The
Yeah.
money
I
makes you
agree.
more of whatever you already are.
Yeah.
But you gotta bring something to the table.
Yeah. The question is, what is that? How do we actually suffice for things that are lacking with you guys, or the things that are the unknown? You know, how do we get to that? How do we get to deal with that which is really a true mystery? You know, the expectation. You know, it's like you know, with regards to our dealings or moving forward, the question is knowing what's really right and what's really not right. But then we look at the deficiencies and where you know, the communicable things, like knowing what I got a better example for you. Here you go.
Every time a relationship ends, it's not always the man. There's plenty of women out here doing that they're ashamed of. I had nothing to do with them 10 relationships that you was in before we got in a relationship. You done brought all of them heartbreaks, insecurities, issues, mental, emotional, and physical abuse into this brand new relationship. Now I'm on the receiving end of all of this that them 10 dudes done did to you. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Hey, don't put it on me.
That right there. A lot of that does go on, but it puts us in a weird space too. But then it seems like when I went back to talk to you guys about my belief in growth with you guys, when I dealt with this, you know, sign and hope, it was crickets, you know. This is kind of what we need, I guess, on both sides to get better, so that we can get to the point where we can really have this discussion, because it needs to be had. Because if not, we'll continue to go down doing things alone and aside, you know, anything that's possible. Even having, you know, the real conversations in quote unquote fruitful relationships such as this.
And I'm sure so many women can relate. Like, you want to reward that man for that work, and the only reward that you have to offer is an orgasm. But even if I didn't feel it, I would still be performative. So yes, I was faking it.
We got into like a argument, and then she was like, well, you know, I don't be having an orgasm. She didn't say it in that. She speaks way more eloquent than I would have. And I was like, what? And she was like, I don't. I'm like, no, yes, you do. I hear it. Like, yeah, and then she was like, no, I'm faking it. I'm like, every time? And she was like, yeah. And then that just crushed me, because I thought I was putting in work. Like, I'm sitting there thinking I'm, you know, Big Daddy Longleg.
Damn, I guess we ain't shit. How many of y'all out there really faking it? How many of you are really satisfied or really faking it? We don't really know. That's why you got the mentality. Got mine. You better get yours. Yeah. But there we go. You know, communication is key. You got to know what you need to do to satisfy and edify. But then you have this preview or this position, and I want to know how real this is.
Women in their 40s fuck differently from women in their 20s and 30s. It's a known fact. Okay? First of all, when you in your 20s and 30s, you fucking with a coochie. I don't care what you say. You fucking with a coochie. When you in your 40s, you fucking with a pussy. It's a difference. See, pussy don't come with problems. Coochie does. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a big difference. Coochie like drama. Pussy don't. Pussy just like to be well taken care of. You know? Pussy don't give a fuck about what you've been doing all day. You just want to make sure that home is taken care of. That's what pussy do. And pussy likes to fuck. You give a fuck about how many times you've been out doing you all day long. Nigga, just come in here and still hit this shit. That's all pussy want. Cause I be out here doing me too. Coochie will exhaust the shit out of a nigga. Asking where he at, what he doing, when he gonna be back, how many bitches he fucking, who he fucking with, who's in his phone, who's on the line, let me see your shit. Coochie got too much time on his hands. You know, pussy humble. You know what I'm saying? All pussy wants to do is just sit back, relax, chill, have a good life. That's all pussy want. Pussy ain't really worrying about too much drama. Pussy don't want drama. A nigga know how to take good care of her, that's all. That's all.
Is that all? Is that all? I'm asking the questions. I don't know. I mean, this is merely a conversation as we usually have. I mean, hey man, I'm pulling this one out of thin air. I don't know whether you can tell or not, but you know, it's just what it is. What it has been around here, but I try to do the best I can do. And if you're wondering why we opt out of a lot of things, take this in.
Today, more and more men are choosing not to go to school, not to get a job, and not to get married. If similar numbers of women were doing the same, someone would raise the alarm. But since men are the ones opting out, the problem has been mostly met with silence. Some books say that men are just a bunch of lazy, stoner frat boys who are acting immaturely. In reality, men are acting rationally and opting out of education, work, and marriage because in all of these areas, the penalties are high and the rewards are low. Each of these areas has its own problems and is important in its own right. But for now, we'll just look at why men are avoiding marriage and fatherhood. The first reason that men don't want to get married is that they'll lose respect. In the past, a man wasn't considered a true adult until he was married and had children. Today, however, husbands and fathers are the butts of jokes, and the media constantly portrays them as buffoons and bumbling idiots. The second reason is that they'll lose out on sex. Men who cohabitate with their partner but aren't married have much more sex than their wedded counterparts. Recent studies have also found that cohabitators are happier and more confident than married couples. The third reason that men don't want to get married is that they could lose their children and their money. Men are aware of the dangers of divorce, specifically that the courts tend to favor mothers. Men only get custody of their children 10% of the time, and overwhelmingly are responsible for paying child support and alimony. The fourth reason is that men will lose their space. Once a man gets married, he's relegated to the dirtiest part of the house, the attic, the basement, the garage. The entire house is supposed to be a shared space, but the rise of the man cave means that the home is increasingly becoming the domain of only the wife and children. The fifth reason that men don't want to get married is that they can lose their freedom. If a man gets divorced and can't afford child support, he can get locked up. On any given day, there are almost 50,000 people in jail due to child support arrears, most of them male. For example, in Massachusetts, 96% of the people incarcerated for unpaid child support are men. The final reason that men don't want to get married is that the single life is better than ever. In the past, single men were looked at with suspicion, but this is no longer the case. There are plenty of 40-year-old bachelors. Employers look favorably at employees with non-conflicting family responsibilities. Dating has gotten easier, and premarital sex is no longer taboo. On top of this, there's more to entertain single men today than there was in the past, with video games, cable TV, and the internet providing diversions not previously available. To recap, men are opting out of marriage, in addition to education and work, at alarming rates. This isn't due to laziness, but due to rational choices where men no longer see the value of participating in these areas. People respond to incentives, so if we want more men to marry, it needs to be a more attractive proposition.
Damn. Well, maybe a lot of y'all baby daddies had it right. Checking the fuck on out. Oh, hey, shots fired. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Maybe they had it right. They was on to something. They were on to something. God damn. Well, I mean, it is true. I mean, man, where we live in, the expectations are different. For us as men to make provision for you as women. That's the expectation. But then we talk about the dating thing. How do we get to that? You got somebody who has principles and morals, and they go across the board, but you can't, but some females impede expectation. Indulge me.
This guy dating, and I mentioned to him that I'm waiting for marriage to have sex. The guy I'm dating says he is cool with that. And then he mentions that we should go Dutch when we go on dates because he is saving his money for his wife. What WTF? I told him that's not cool, that he will not spend money on me because I want to wait until marriage. He says that's not the case at all, but clarifies that just like sex, he should be a good steward with his money and reserve that for his wife. I think he follows you. Is he wrong?
No, he's not wrong. And then the first thing women will say is, that's different. How is my well-being a living? Because when I spend money on you, I'm taking from my own mouth, I'm taking from my pockets, I'm taking from my bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm taking from my responsibilities to make sure you happy. Hey, baby, look, I'm just trying to be responsible with my cash like you being responsible with that ass.
Oh, man. Fair exchange, no robbery. But that goes back to one of these shows I did, man, where a guy had taken a young lady out to eat and ended up going to a little small spot, I guess, and ended up having like a sandwich and some chips and a bottle of water. And the young lady commenced to try and berate the guy by taking a picture of what was bought for her and posting it on her page or whatever and saying he must be broke because he brought me here. And unbeknownst to her, the guy sitting across, or I guess she didn't take into account that he follows her or is on her line or her feed and saw that. And basically his rebuttal was basically, shit, if you need me to buy anything or if you're waiting for anyone to feed you, then you must be broke. But I'm saying it to say the conversation that they should have been having was merely to get acquainted, and it shouldn't have mattered how it happened if you were interested in the individuals. But what I'm seeing now, we all see it, it's just what it is. There's a lack of accountability on the opposite side. And I'm not bashing, damn it, I'm just putting some paint where it ain't. Everybody wants to, on the other side, show you something. I'm gonna show you that I can do this without you. I don't need you. Everything's a bad bitch thing or a hot girl thing or independent woman thing. Where does that leave us? If you got it all, then you got it all. So our investment is always going to be minimal. It is surface. It's not anything that's going to be long term. You're not going to sow a seed and put that motherfucker in the ground and water it every day. The chase is going to be minimal to the point of mere retention. It's like a client retention, customer base. And this puts you in a mindset where you can practice your walk away. Your tantrum and your walk away. Tantrum, your walk away. Yeah. Because a lot of you really don't know how to be women. You say you are, but you have no clue. None. And it's conversations like this that bring that awareness, because it has to be in a sphere where there's no, how do I say this, deflecting and challenging and gaslighting without accountability.
I grew up in a 3-parent household. My mom, my father, and my grandmother. I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is, you know, girl, I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
A woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Yeah. This is live, damn it. This ain't pre-recorded. Like Memorex. Live. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I can't bite my tongue any longer. I'm tired of goofy bitches. You know who you are, you know the shit you do and say. I'm tired. Up to here. Long gone seems is the day of black women with dignity, moral, class, eloquence, patience. Although it may seem like they are submissive, they were always in control. Not boisterous, not loud. Always got some fucking fucked up opinion about something. Broken. Broke. End. You hear me? Broke. In the end. Busted. Disgusted. Disgusting everybody else. With your loud demands. And no means, no muscle, no might to back the expectations or those demands. You know, it takes a stronger person to admit defeat. It takes a stronger person to rise from it, learn from it, and do better. If you were lied to, if you were abused, all those kind of things, and you expect to have anything prosperous in the realm of a man, it's like playing football. You cannot play defense and expect to have happiness in your relationship. Cannot. You have to be on one side of the field. If you are a team, either both of you are playing offense because you need to score. There is a common goal, and that is peace, happiness, joy, and prosperity. If you are not seeking those things, you're playing defense, and you are in the motherfucking way. And this will be your continuum to deal with the 40 girl dude, because that's what you're accustomed to dealing with. The 40 girl dude, because he doesn't have any understanding of his own worth. So he's distracted. So he's constantly focused on that kind of shit. So he's whipping and running, and his life, it depicts that shit in so many ways. You just have to pay attention. The slip is showing. The slip is showing. If you're really on that kind of shit. So, and if you're on that kind of shit and you're seeking the faults of the 40 dude guy, then as my girl say, you fucking with a coochie, not a pussy. You need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. Yeah. Everything's not about you controlling as a man. You want to be a man? Be a man. You know? But men don't play well with other men. Not real men. Yeah. Shit's old. Shit's old. I'm going to read from this again, man. I want y'all to get with me. Understand that there are those issues, those things, man, that we do and we deal with, but it wastes so much time because it's unnecessary. So unnecessary. The question is, when does it change? When? Shit's old. If you like this show, man, share it. Go down to the bottom of this screen right now. Hit that arrow. Share it. Share it to those groups that you're a part of. Share it to your friends, to your family. Let's broaden the conversation. Yeah. Anywho, shame. This is internal. The shame she feels within herself based on behavior, life choices, and bad outcomes. That means all of the bullshit that happened to you prior before. The lies, the deceit, the abuse, the abandonment. The consistent use of shaming language on black men specifically, this serves to reinforce your perceived cultural, social dominance over him. This is to further answer the question that Tashina answered or asked. Insults. This is internal. Once again, her understanding that her behavior is insulting and or inappropriate most of the time. Yet she refuses to stop until somebody smack the shit out you or choke you out and throw you out a window or some old crazy shit or run down and do something to you. And after they do that, they really realize that shit, you wasn't worth a plug nickel no way. They done threw their life away for nothing. External. Consistently insulting others that oppose or disrespect you in any way. As usual, this is normally directed at the black man, but not confined to them. Often accompanied by deflections away from yourself. That's that loud, boisterous shit, that talking and flipping. Well, you said, or well, you did. So basically, can't nobody tell you anything because you're constantly seeking that individual's faults as a rebuttal and a deflection away from the bullshit that you do and have done. Your baggage that you have not put down or your hurts that you have not dealt with. Yeah, that shit right there. The guilt. That's internal. You feel guilt over not being able to get rid of your internal shame about yourself and your life. The external lies guilt over your choices at the feet of others. This is again directed at black men. We all dogs. We ain't shit. We liars. We this, we that. We constantly fucking around. Yeah. It's always someone else's fault. And they should feel the guilt that you feel over how you made your mistakes, your choices, your mismanagement of your cock, your heart, your mind. Yeah. In the need to be right. It's internal. Your needs to control, needs to tell yourself that your life choices were still okay despite the outcomes. Not being right threatens your psychological and mental stability. So you always got to be right. That's why it's always a fight, back and forth, nag, this. You got to prove it. But you try to prove it through finding faults in others that are bringing your shit to light that you won't be accountable to. Must always make the case that no matter what you've done, who it may hurt, or how it turns out, you were right in the end. This is done primarily to avoid accountability and responsibility for actions and avoiding admitting to any guilt. That is SIGN. That is the acronym of SIGN. Now, this is the offensive side. I just told you about the defensive side. The offensive side, if you look at the football field, they're going to score, the touchdown, to get the quan, the whole aspect of life, the peace, the understanding, the joy, the praise, the everything. We'll start with H. Means hope. Not only feeling humility within yourself, but the ability to express humility towards others. You aren't arrogantly holding on to the wrong thing just to avoid saying you were wrong. I ask for consideration often on this show. This is the one thing that we as men really want from you as women, to be considered, not looked at amongst your sign, your shame, your insults, your guilt, and your need to be fucking right. If you are in bed or you've locked in with me or with who you're with, deal from the hope side, not from that sign shit, because the individual that you were just getting with or with didn't have anything to do with any of your past hurts. So why should they have to pay? And vice versa. Onus. Own your shit. That means you don't dodge accountability. You're more interested in peace than being right for the sake of being right. You're willing to sacrifice. You're not willing to sacrifice the peace of the relationship to be right. P is for praise. You can't be arrogant. You can't be too arrogant to not acknowledge and to express happiness and admiration for who you're with. If you got a good man, he's doing something good, acknowledge the motherfucker. Motherfuckers may say, okay, what's your love language? Man, fuck that shit. I don't care who you are. Everybody loves a little bit of affirmation and confirmation every now and again. And it's not always about the actions. They like to hear it too. If any of you are employers, supervisors, or managers, or people who are in charge, you know that is a part of team playing and coaching. You acknowledge your employees. Hey, good job. Hey, come talk to me. You know, I got a little bonus for you because of the work that you put in. Or, you know, hey, you want to take some time off because, hell, you're here and you've been here every day for the last year and a half and you haven't taken the day off. I want to acknowledge you. Or you may be acknowledged on the job. Hey, good work. Here's a plaque. Here's a watch. Here's some sort of bonus at the end of the year. Or here's an increase based on your evaluation. There's a check and balance for everything. Don't be too prideful and fucked up and guiltful and shameful that you can't even acknowledge your partner. This is these are the things that we do to get to that point, to answer the question that Tashina asked. This is how. Dealing from the hope side, not the sign. Because honestly, when we look at the sign, fellas, if you see any of these things in the sign, that's a sign, motherfucker. You need to haul ass. Yeah. Now the E is for empathy. You should see humanity in other people, mainly your man. And therefore don't just treat him as an object. or try to rule him like a child, because he's not your child, nor is he your beast of burden. So your unrealistic expectations need be put to the side. He deserves your full consideration of his feelings, of his emotions, and acknowledge his needs and his desires. Communication is key. It's basically what I'm saying in a nutshell. You got to get it together, man. You got to get it together. Yeah. Yeah. So, I hope I touched on this question. What can we, or what can you guys as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America? Stop playing offense, goddammit, and stop playing defense. And stop dealing with goofies like this broad right here. Yeah. Disassociate. Accountability is imperative. Thank you. This ain't no bash session. I'm just, like I said, it's a conversation that needs to be had. What's really wrong with us? I explained what was wrong with us. A lot of us don't even know how to pursue you. We think that we got to buy you. We think we got to step and fetch and kowtow and file in and file out. Some don't. But no one can shed light on that subject like you guys can. Mm-hmm. Anywho, and all you're getting, get you some understanding, man. Before you hit your sack tonight, bend them knees. Thank God, because there is a God for you seeing the day, and then you have your sound body and mind and strength, being able to make a change. And once again, if you like the show, follow me on YouTube. Smash the subscribe, hit like, pluck the bell. And also follow me on IG. Double tap, share. And if you're my friend on Facebook, and if you're not, hey, send a request. Follow, like, share. All right? Yeah. A lot of us just out here playing, man. A lot of us in the way. Unnecessarily. No need to be. No need to be. I think this went up today, and this is what a lot of us are doing. We're selling ourselves short.
You know, they look at us and think, you know, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. But when we built this motherfucker for free, we're entitled to everything it is. But it goes back to the word. The word says, why are you willing to sell yourself for something that belongs to you anyway?
Like your peace of mind, your respect, your self-dignity, your worth, knowing what that is, getting an understanding of what that is, what your desires are, and aligning your life to receive those things, because shit, life's too short to be playing around with yourself. Furthermore, allowing anyone else to play with you. Got an idea? Go get it. Nothing's too crazy. Y'all know what I'm gonna say about Noah. Yeah. Folks thought it was until it began to rain. By that time, it was too late. So, yeah. And all you're getting, get you some understanding. Express love, because love is the way. That is true offense right there. That's winning. That's the winning. Love yourself. Let people see you love yourself, so they have a blueprint on how to love you. And yeah, if no one else loves you, shit, it don't matter. You love you, and I love you too. Good night.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had. Bring him out. Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life. Had to find my inner power. To fashion, etiquette, and current events. Major show alert. All to enhance the happiness already inside you. Today is about the power of you. Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.